How's it going, everyone? Session here. Welcome to Final Fantasy XIV. Okay, so I was watching Xeno's stream, and then I saw him talking about. I'm also so sorry that the screen is super bright right now. I apologize significantly, but I saw him streaming and talking about how much he was going on a rant about Dark Knight, how much he like doesn't like Dark Knight, and what he would do to fix it. And immediately I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wait until the video comes out, and then I want to see what he thought about. And then I actually, because I also love playing Dark Knight. Dark Knight is probably my second favorite tank next to Gunbreaker. Although I mean they're all like evenly favorited. I just end up playing Gunbreaker slash Dark Knight a little bit more so. Anywho, I thought that he was trying to make changes, and I just thought about like I wrote down my own changes because I also agree with him significantly that I think that Dark Knight needs, I would want to call it a rework, but I also want it to stay true to kind of what it's always been. But uh I'll talk about a lot of things that we kind of will discuss, but I want to first have him kind of speak about what he like wants to see changes for. So
Okay, so some ways to make Dark Knight better.
Change TBN. Make it.
oh wait, I should probably move myself away from where he is because I'm like covering his, you can see like the little spot here, but we love you, bro. But 1 second. Okay, should be much easier now. Sub dude.
25 seconds. Remove
Okay.
mana. Add XCOG. Change
Okay.
living dead. Remove the dying part.
What's XCOG?
Okay.
XCOG is the ability where you get a buff. And if your HP falls below, it's like 50%, then you automatically get healed for like 1200 potency or some shit. Yeah, so it's basically a buff that goes on you, and when you drop below a certain threshold, it will automatically heal you.
You know what? Here, I'm going to remove the word change because it should be obvious. Dark Mind. All damage 15%. Ooh, oblation. Add a regen. Add another
okay.
GCD combo ability like power slash.
What would we do with Abyssal Drain?
Oh,
There's a lot
like-
of stuff that we could do with.
Is he thinking about like doing like the same thing that Warrior does, where you get like the Storm's Eye or Storm's Path combo, but the first two GCs are the same? I do miss Power Slash as a button. That move is fire. But I don't. Okay, I mean, okay, we'll see. I mean, I don't know about that one, but like, we'll see. Hold on.
With it, right? Dude, that's actually a pretty cool idea. Make it like after you use Soul Eater, dude, you get an Abyssal Drain proc. Holy shit, that'd actually be kind of sick. Dude, imagine if like you
Ooh,
did a one,
okay.
2, 3, and then you got like an Abyssal Drain proc. Like,
Is that like similar to how like Viper is right now, where if you always do the 3-hit combo, then you get the Serpent's Tail follow up with Death Rattle? That'd be kind of fire, actually. Because there's no tank that does that, right? There's no tank that has like a OGCD follow to a combo sort of thing, right? Because every single tank has like a GCD follow up somewhat. Because like in theory, you got Paladin with like the Atonement combo, you got and Holy Spirit, right? You got what Gunbreaker with the cartridge to either use Gnashing or, ooh, he's kind of cooking actually with that. I kind of like that. Okay.
like a Holy Spirit.
I
mean,
like
that'd be just
that.
like Paladin, but Paladin's S tier right now. Yeah, that'd actually be really cool. Dude, what if, yo, what if Abyssal Drain was just a casted GCD, but if you like comboed it, right? Oh, yeah, just dude, make a dude, yeah.
Wait, hold
Make
on.
it
He's kind of cooking
just
actually.
like
I like his reaction right now.
Spirit.
Oh no, I don't like that though.
Dude, that'd be
okay.
sick, man.
See, he was cooking for like a moment, and then he kind of like lost me. What I would have liked is if it was like, ugh, I don't want to compare it. The problem that I have right now is that I don't want to like think of abilities and combos and then have it compared to other jobs. But I think it would be really cool if it had like a serpent tail thing. Where, because like with Viper, like I said, if you haven't played Viper, basically there's 3 OGCD buttons that turn into buttons when you kind of fulfill certain criterias. So if you use Dreadwinder and you get the Hunter's Coil and Swiftkin's Coil, then you get the Twin Blood buttons. Oh, I guess it's Vice now, but anyways, you know, the button will glow based on which one you press, and then you press both in between, and then, but more importantly though, for the Heinz strike or flank strike, after you finish that move, you have a move called an ability called Serpent's Tail that auto activates into Death Rattle or Last Lash if you're doing AoEs, and you have to follow up with that move every time. If you don't press that move, you just literally lose it. I was thinking that you could do it with Abyssal Drain. Like that'd be kind of cool. Not necessarily. I think Carve and Spit should still stay like a 60-second GCD. I'm kind of cool with that. Although I would like for it to get some kind of like extra thing, something, because I think that button's been the same since like what, like Heaven's Word, right? I think so. Like I don't exactly remember, but that button has been the same button for forever. But ideally, I would like for it to. They shouldn't separate it per se from, or I don't know. I would like them to separate it from Abyssal Drain and Carve and Spit, but I would like for Carve and Spit to get an upgrade. But I want Abyssal Drain to just be like a completely different button. You know what I mean? Anyways, let me see what's going on.
Ben. So you'd go like AoE into Abyssal Drain and heal yourself. Holy shit, that'd be awesome. The balance will be fuming over this. Why? All these changes are awesome, man. Can you guys honestly tell me that you wouldn't like these changes added to Dark Knight? Are you kidding me?
I would
You know how
not want there to
brain
be a
damaged you have
cast,
to be to
though.
not want all of these changes. Dude, these changes are amazing. Okay, you know how I know they're
Yeah.
amazing? Because I thought of them. Okay, except for the Carve and Spit guy. Who was the Abyssal Drain
gosh.
guy? I'm gonna mod this mother. That was a good idea. Oh, you know what? No, that's sick too, man.
Salted Earth. Add a region.
Oh, the region while you're in the
if
circle kind of thing?
you're in the puddle. Dude, that's
Okay. But the thing is, like, that is just the PvP version. I don't mind that, but I also like don't prefer that. I wouldn't be mad about it though. You know why though? Because it would matter in dungeons much more so than it would matter in like raids, you know? Because sometimes you gotta place that puddle in a very specific place to kind of maximize the damage output, but you can't sit in that puddle the whole time to like get the HP regen. Honestly, no, I'd be okay with it. It'd be fine.
sick.
Yeah, that's cool too. I don't know about Soul Survivor, man. I don't know. It was kind of
Oh,
meh. Did you guys like
no.
Soul Survivor?
Soul Survivor was like fine, but the thing is, like, I don't know how it would work in a raid. Soul Survivor is still in PvP right now, so basically, if you apply Soul Survivor, it's kind of like a move where if you like kill the thing that's got Soul Survivor, then it just gave you a lot of like utility recovery, like HP, MP, that sort of thing. TP too. I mean, at least back in the day. It would be cool if. Let me think. Actually, it'd be cool if there was like a button that you could activate that can like apply it as like a debuff, but it shouldn't be useful in like raids. It should be useful in like dungeons if that's the case scenario. But I don't know if if Soul Survivor should come back though. I don't think so though.
Why couldn't we add everything? This is a
It's
rework.
it's cool
I
though.
think Dark Missionary is fine. I think whatever the other one is fine too. Heart of Light. They just suck in some terms. What's Soul Survivor? Okay, so I'll tell you its original design. It was a debuff you put on the enemy, and if the enemy died and when the debuff was on it, you would heal 25% life, I think, and like 25% mana. But then they changed it because people were really bad at the game and they were misusing it all the time, and no one was utilizing it. So they changed it to where if you put it on, regardless if you killed the enemy or not, it would give you that. But then over time they realized, hey, this doesn't really matter at all, so they just took it away.
Oh yeah, actually, wait. Dark Missionary level 70.
Unmend and Unleash being a spell doesn't matter really, does it? It doesn't really matter anymore, right?
No.
I really think Unbuffed Blood Spiller should give you mana. See, the thing is like that's like a numbers thing, right? That's like a numbers thing where you could do it or not do it, and if the numbers line up, then it really wouldn't matter. What else is wrong with this miserable pile of shit? Oh, I guess the other combo. Okay, add another GCD combo like Power Slash. Yeah, but what would it do? I mean, there's like a lot of stuff that it could do. It could like just buff your next ability, or it could like buff your next Soul Eater. Let's just say for right now, because we're not going to focus on a single ability, we're gonna try to get as many changes in as we can. Let's say for right now, Power Slash just buffs your next Soul Eater. Or
That'd be cool.
That would actually add more to the heal as well. Dude, is this really hard to understand, guys? No, guys, stop making this more complicated than it is. You take TB in, the only thing you do is you put an XCOG on it. That's it. Whatever target you TB in, they also get an XCOG. That's it. If the shield breaks, great. If it doesn't break, doesn't matter. The XCOG still stays on you. It's not complicated. Dark side, make it a trait. Does it even matter? I mean, maybe. Yeah, make it a trait. Now, you're probably asking yourself, right? How is this job more difficult? Well, one, it has another combo. Two, you get this Abyssal Drain proc, and that's hard enough. Now, for some of you that's like, but that's not hard enough. No, it is hard enough because can't hit their buttons because people wipe to enrage on M2. That's why. You would 100% want a mana rebalance, more mana so you can Edge of
Oh my
Shadow outside
gosh.
of burst windows more often. Yeah. The thing is, man, the job actually used to be like that, and people didn't like it. But instead of using Edge of Shadow, you used an ability called Dark Arts. I'm putting this at the top.
This is going to the top. Change it.
Running
Good
animation.
Lord.
Oh my
at 400
gosh.
potency. Man, you're just saying that to trigger me. Shut the
In the running animation, wait, is he mean like just like regular running? Because I actually like that animation. What I don't like, at least for right now, because I play a female character, I don't like the idle pose when they put the sword in the ground. I want like the one with the sword. I want that pose. The sprint animation is kind of okay. It should be on some like one-handed sword running thing. That would be fire. But I don't know what he's specifying. I guess he just means it in general, though. I don't disagree. I mean, I don't disagree with that, though.
So basically, you want to rebalance a mana. I tend to agree because right now, you basically just completely blow your load in your opener and you have this like massive like 40, 50K opener. And then after that, it's just like all downhill. All right, follow me on this. What if? Okay,
Okay.
hold on.
Okay.
What if
I'm here.
when you used your basic combo, so you did 1, 2, 3, and then you got an Abyssal Drain proc. What if the Abyssal Drain proc took mana? Now that's a little bit skill intensive. Do we want to go that route? I don't think
If
we
the
want to go that
Abyssal
route.
Drain proc took mana, but then like, oh, because then it would be like a Holy Spirit kind of thing he's referring to. But then isn't it procced from the soul, like a Soul Eater, right? Isn't it unprocced from that though? Interesting. Okay.
Man, I really don't. I think people would not like that. Holy Spirit takes mana. I mean, does it really? I mean, does it?
Personally, he's not wrong. I do agree that them cutting out the mana cost for Holy Spirit so that you never have to worry about mana, I actually don't like that. I actually do prefer when back in the day I hate that I said that out loud and like I sound old, but I hate that because like if you don't set like the paladin should be trying to set up by gaining MP recovery by using like the atonement sword combo and everything. Like if you just naturally play paladin the way you're supposed to, then like it should be fine. But if you don't though, then you should have like a mana deficiency. I mean I feel that way personally. That's just me though. But now it doesn't matter anymore. So that's my kind of like small gripe with paladin currently. It's like paladin's cool though. I still like the job a lot, but I don't want Abyssal to types like mana if like it's you know what I mean? I don't know. I do prefer the idea more so that it has like an OGCD follow-up that you can kind of store it and like press it when you need it versus having it be like a GCD button, basically.
Really? Like,
Because
in your
Abyssal Drain is still like an
paladin
OGCD.
rotation, if you remove the mana completely, like, would it really change? Like, it only matters if you're dead. Like, Paladin has no mana management whatsoever. How is that skill intensive?
I miss it
Because what
though.
if you Edge of Shadow like too many times and you have an Abyssal Drain proc, but you can't use it because it requires mana, but you already spent that mana on Edge of Shadow? I just not. I like what
Oh. So I guess in theory, Edge of Shadow would need to do slightly less damage than Abyssal Drain for that to matter. Because this is also on the idea that it unties from Carve and Spit. So Abyssal Drain would need to have its own potency that separates from Carve and Spit. So it would have to be slightly higher than Edge of Shadow for like uptime stuff. That would, it's not bad
Chatter
actually.
said. I'm just gonna say that, dude. This sounds so perverted. Edge a little more outside of burst. Holy, dude. There's no way that someone is gonna read that and be like, "Yeah, that's not perverted." Let's see what else. No, that's what they did in 11, right? Abilities cost HP. It wouldn't work in this game because Dark Knight's a tank. But
see, but like I kind of want it to though because it does in the PvP version, and like yes, I know PvP and PvE are different, but like also like I kind of want it to though. But I feel like it should be done. There should be a way to like spend HP to do a thing where it's like a risk unless you like because you can like admit yourself and like spend that HP. I kind of wish there was like a MP an HP mit button where you sacrifice. I wish TBN did that actually, where you spent HP to get the shield, but then you had a way to recover HP so that you can kind of like up, give yourself like a shield, but like, spend HP, but then like be able to recover it back. So like in theory, let's say like I do Soul Eater and it procs my little Abyssal Drain, then I use like HP TBN and I lose like 25,000, but then Abyssal Drain gives me like a good like 14 back. But then I get the shield. So technically I'm plus HP with shield to a small, that would be so sick actually. But he's not wrong though. And HP, like sacrificing HP would be really rough, especially if like it's gonna happen during like a certain mechanic where, because like you gotta really know how to like use that button. But it would be so sick though. It'd be so sick.
In 11, Dark Knight wasn't a tank, right? Like it was a DPS.
Yeah, DPS.
I think it would be well, man. Okay, believe it or not, guys. Okay, get this shit. They've already tried that. They've already tried a long time ago. If I remember correctly, there used to be an ability on Black Mage that would take your HP and turn it into MP, and it ran into issues where Black Mages were like killing themselves because they would use that ability and then die to like a raid wide. That was in a Realm Reborn, I'm pretty sure. Guys, HP and PvP is completely different. You
I don't
cannot
remember, actually.
balance shit in PvP and put it in PvE. It doesn't work that way. Like in PvP, you're not guaranteed to be taking damage, but you cannot give a tank a life sacrifice ability. Not in this game. With PvP, it's like completely different, right? So like in 11, it was completely different because like Dark Knight was like a DPS or some shit. I don't know. I didn't play 11. So this would be cool. So your rotation would be something like this. It would be like Power Slash, and then you'd get a proc. You'd get an Abyssal Drain proc. And then your next combo would be Soul Eater. And after you do Power Slash, two things happen. You get an Abyssal Drain proc that functions exactly like Holy Spirit, and you would also get a buff that your next Soul Eater, it does like increased potency and has increased healing. So that way you would be swapping between combos.
Oh,
you know what I loved about Dark Knight back in Heaven's Ward? Blood Weapon. Believe it or not, Blood Weapon back in the day was sick. And what it did was it actually increased the speed of your GCD.
Yeah.
It made you attack
Oh
like
my
20%
god.
faster
I
or some shit.
remember
So,
that.
Like, Blood Weapon
Yeah.
was so badass. And it was only on a 40
It was
second
such a
cooldown.
good, that was such a good
Maybe
button.
They could bring back Dark Arts, but
Man, I know that Blood Weapon's still in the game, but it upgrades to Delirium. I hate that change. Let me just say, like, the animation of Blood Weapon is so awesome. And like I like Delirium too, but Blood Weapon is just so much better. I'll give my personal gripe about Dark Knight, but like let's
kind of change it a little bit. Like basically you'd go into this like badass, like Death Knight Dark Arts form, kind of like Reaper. You know what? Let's just take Enshroud from Reaper and give it to Dark Knight. So when you use Dark Arts, you just Enshroud. That's kind of cool, right? Yeah, just do that.
Dark Arts. Steal Enshroud from Reaper.
Oh yeah, that'd be sick.
It goes into like a burst mode kind of thing. I don't know if I like that. Not because it's like a bad idea. It's just that like there's like that's already what inner release and like Delirium like kind of sort of is, but like not really, but like kind of, like kind of like there's like I don't like that
because
so
your
much.
like finale ability, when you enter Dark Arts, your abyssal drain would change into like, oh man, what's a cool, oh dude, your abyssal drain could change to
I love his like
infinite
fandom.
darkness. You would like, I don't know, slash the air and the void would come out and cause this explosion. Dude, that'd be badass, man. That'd be sick. I don't know, man. What do you guys think? That's kind of cool. Yeah,
Okay.
dude, let's ship this, man. This gets the bald stamp. These are some ways
The
to make
bald
Dark Knight better,
stamp.
dude. Dark Knight would be so much better if it had this shit, man. It'd be so much cooler. It would have regen, it'd have self-sustain, it'd have an additional combo, it'd have a little more stuff to manage, so it'd actually be a little bit more difficult to play, and at the same time it would have way more self-sustain and just overall be completely better than this miserable pile of shit that it is currently. This is good.
Okay.
All right, bald stamp of approval. Ship this shit. Let's go.
Okay, so let's kind of, bro, I'm so sorry for the brightness. Okay, so I actually took notes. So my rework is very different. I don't want the job to be just better. I'd like for it to be just, I actually would like for, because he argued quite a lot that Dark Knight should get a rework, and I actually like highly agree with him. Here, I have a post-it note here. Here's actually all the changes that I would, whoops. So here's actually a post-it note that I have in regards to all the changes in relations to kind of what he posted and what I posted. Now here's my thing. I do like that Dark Knight could be a better job, but I also would like for it to get an actual rework. So here's kind of what I've put together by comparison. Okay, so the first and most important thing that he mentioned is like TBN. Now, in my personal opinion, I do like TBN a lot, and I do like Darkmind and Ablation as well. However, those buttons are all like separated, and they kind of should get combined. But what I would like to do is, I would like for TBN to be a button that exists, because you know how like Heart of Stone for Gunbreaker turns into Heart of Corundum. I would like for TBN to get that treatment. So TBN is like a level 70 ability, and then what Heart of Corundum is 82. So I would say just do the same thing with Dark Knight. Give it a like ablation. So I've actually renamed it. I'm gonna just it's gonna be so forgive me in advance just a little bit, but so I've actually renamed TBN. So like TBN is a button that works from like 70 to like 82, right? And then it will upgrade. So similar to Heart of Corundum, it upgrades to Ablation Black. And what it does is it's a 25% mitigation button. It also has like that 10% for everything, and it also gives a shield. So you kind of get like a little bit of TBN, you get like a little bit of ablation, and you get Dark Mind basically. So like it's a button that works like Corundum does, where it's really good against like, you know, just mitigation for the personal, but it does better mitigation if it is magical and a little bit less if it's physical, but it's still really good, right? Now, the most important thing for me is the Dark Arts button. Because I kind of thought about how old Dark Knight used to function, and Dark Arts was a button that you basically would activate it before you use a button, and it would change the effects of the button. What they've done in Dawntrail with a couple of jobs, but it's still like a noticeable change where I was kind of like, you know, they should just do that for a lot of jobs in this game, where one, the buttons would actually, if you activate like for example fight or flight, it turns into goring blade, or like no mercy into sonic fang or sonic break. But here's the most important one. It's Pictomancer. Pictomancer has a move called Tempura Coat, and what it is pretty much just a 20% shield you give to yourself. However, that button turns into Tempura Grassa, which basically turns into a 10% shield to everyone. And I'm so surprised that a lot of jobs didn't get something like a lot like that. Like Monk has Riddle of Earth, and then what is it called? Earth's Ruination, right? So that turns into it's like a personal button for Monk specifically, but then it turns into like an AoE heal that it gives to everybody. I think that's awesome. So I think with Dark Arts for Dark Knight specifically, they should just do that with Dark Arts entirely. So these highlighted parts here basically is all the things that I would like for them to do with Dark Arts and change the effect of buttons. However, I would also like to compare what he wrote as well to some things, but a lot of his changes are dramatically different from mine, so I do apologize in advance. So for me, Dark Arts, so similar to TBN right now, right? So if you think about current TBN, if you activate it, you spend 3,000 mana, and it gives you a proc. If you take damage, then you get a free proc of Dark Arts, right? Because that little yellow glowy icon that's under the Dark Knight on the HUD thing, that's Dark Arts. So it costs 3,000 MP just like you would use Edge or TBN, and it's just used to modify moves and give different effects. So similar to his Abyssal Drain idea, but like Carve and Spit is a move that does damage, right? And Carve and Spit should just because right now it does damage and it regenerates MP. It should just regenerate HP, but it's a single target attack. If you use Dark Arts and then try and press the button for Carve and Spit, that will turn it into Abyssal Drain, which then is the AoE version. I think that's what I was thinking about, at least, right? Now, if you use Bloodspiller, it costs 50 gauge as normal, but if you use Dark Arts, then it'll enhance Bloodspiller, and then it just gives you a guaranteed crit recovery HP attack. So it's kind of like a GCD of Bloodwetting, but it's just a GCD. Now, the difference is that it'll kind of allow Bloodspiller to still function as a button where you can just rip out like a really strong move. And even though the Dark Arts version requires 3k MP to give you that HP recovery, if you don't need to use that, like you don't have to. So it's like an option, right? Like you can just use Blood Spiller normal. The potency does not increase if you use Dark Arts. It just gives you a HP crit recovery chance. So you kind of have options, right? If you want to use like Ablation Black, for example, you could do that. I think Ablation Black still costs 3k MP in my mind. I think so, but or is 25% or 25 seconds. I don't know yet. Actually, I didn't think about that much. Anywho, like Blood Spiller potency will still be the same if you Dark Artist or not. But the difference is that you can either save that MP for later, or you can use it to give yourself that recovery. I think that would be really cool. Dark Arts Quietus is the same thing. So you either do Quietus and it does the AoE and it does a lot of damage, which is cool. Or if you Dark Arts it, then it'll kind of do the same thing that you like. If you're doing Bloodwetting and then you use like Decimation or or Mythros Tempest, it's literally the same exact thing, but instead of it being for like 3 attacks like Warrior is, because Warrior should still keep that for themselves, but at least for Quietus, it's 1 GCD, and then same thing, it just gives HP recovery. Now, Dark Missionary, what did he say? 15 seconds for all of it, I think? Where is that? No, he said level 70 ability. Okay, I agree with that entirely, because like Gunbreaker has that for like Uwu and Yukab, which is really cool. Dark Missionary should absolutely go to level 70 as well. 100% agree. However, if you have Dark Missionary, it to kind of like compensate, it should it should be 10%, and they should buff Heart of Light for Gunbreaker to be 15%, because you can't change it. So like just to kind of compensate the difference. So like Gunbreaker Heart of Light would do 15% instead of 10. Dark Missionary will become 10% magic, right? Just normally. But if you Dark Arts and then Dark Missionary, it does 5 physical, 5 magical, but also is a regen. So it's almost like not necessarily Shake It Off, but it it gives you mitigation, and it has a regen. So it's like because Shake It Off is a shield and regen, so this would be a mitt and regen. So that's the difference with that. So because you can have flexibility with this, that's why as a result it should at least compensate for Gunbreaker, and then make it, because like Gunbreaker shouldn't be flexible, right? I don't think so personally. I think that Gunbreaker being like pure magic tank in terms of mitigation is really cool. But at least for Dark Missionary, you kind of have like a sacrifice, right? You can either get the 10 magic and regen, or you get the 5 magic. Or no, actually, sorry, you get 10% only if you use regular Dark Missionary. If you use Dark Arts Dark Missionary, then you get 5% on both magic and physical and regen. That way you can at least cover the ground. And again, it'll cost 3k MP. Remember that too. It always costs 3k MP to use Dark Arts and then a button. So then with Ablation Black, or the TBN upgrade I have in my mind, right now TBN, like I said, it does 20% magic and then like 10 or 15% all, whichever the number is to equate, like whatever. But instead of you getting the shield, if you Dark Arts Ablation Black, then it turns into Thrill of Battle instead. So instead of getting the shield and all the mint, you get Thrill. I think that'd be pretty cool. And then I would like for Ablation, the current version of Ablation, to be renamed to Blood Price, where similar to like Nascent Flash and like Intervention, you can give it to a teammate and then it gives them like 10% mitigation, but also their next GCD is guaranteed to crit HP, kind of similar to how it does with like Dark Arts Bloodspiller. So it'll give them 10% mitigation and then let them crit. And then if you Dark Arts and then Blood Price, instead of giving them just 10% and guaranteed crit HP, it gives them Thrill too. And all these Dark Arts abilities cost 3k MP. Now, of course, you're probably wondering like, oh, but like, what if I want to save 3k for like the Edge of Shadow? The things that you can. So no matter what happens is, the Dark Arts will still proc the free edge use as long as you just Dark Arts and then use the ability. So as long as you could just press Dark Arts and then an ability, then you'll get the free proc. That way, like, your waste of MP is not just wasted, right? You at least still get to use it offensively, but it does give you flexibility to use it defensively. So that way, like, your burst damage should still have you swinging edges like crazy on top of all your stuff. But instead of just instead of just only using it during that, and then you have like no time for uptime, etc., whatever have you, at least you can just be defensive and then be very variety with it. And also I think it kind of adds a lot of technicality, because then you can, it kind of goes back to how Endwalker Dark Knight was, where you would still get the proc with blow weapon in the 5 stacks and then the 3 stacks. But at least with Dark Arts, you can still proc the free edge. So like it's still really good for Edge of Shadow to be the button that you use the mana and the proc for. So you can still be offensive with Dark Arts, but also have just a lot of defensive capabilities. So I think that's what I was thinking about when it was like how to make Dark Knight more, because right now Dark Knight's pretty like empty, I would say. The biggest issue that they kind of did that that broke Dark Knight was just literally taking Delirium and combining it with Blood Weapon, and then they gave only 3 procs of Blood Weapon and Delirium together, which I get though, because like Scarlet, Delirium, Comeuppance, and Torque Cleaver. But the thing is that the biggest difference was that Blood Weapon was a button you use separately from Delirium, and it had 5 stacks. So what I would like is that they would actually just, I don't want them to necessarily get rid of Delirium, but I do want Blood Weapon. So I want them to switch it animation wise. I want Blood Weapon and not Delirium. And it gives you the 5 stacks to do MP recovery, so like mana mitigation, that kind of thing too. But instead of it giving you the Delirium stacks like it does right now, it would just give you Scarlet Delirium Activate, which is kind of what a lot of jobs do now, right? When you press a button, it lets you get an activation button, and then when you do that button, it'll just kind of proc the next one. So you can still keep your Delirium combo. So you'll still do Scarlet into come up into Torque Cleaver, but you'll have those 3 buttons, and you get to kind of figure out where to weave your other GCDs. So you can still figure out how to like add your what is it? Your whether you want to do the like the Siphon Slash and get the double MP, or like the Soul Eater and get like the, you know, the 20 gauge plus MP. I even add the 10 in there too, sort of thing. You know what I mean? So like that way, like the complication and technicality of Dark Knight kind of gets like a return. Because right now there's no, you kind of just don't have to worry about MP management or gauge management, because you simply just get 70 gauge. It happens perfectly every time at the 2.5 range. You do Delirium, and then you do your 3 Blood Spillers combo, the unique ones, and then you just do Blood Spiller. And then when you like, you never have a risk of over capping gauge right now with Dark Knight. And that's what I really just don't like right now. So yeah, that's my thought process at least. So ideally you don't need to use Dark Arts and burst windows, because all this is just for mitigation. So like, but like you can still give yourself the setup to maximize your damage output with still using your MP and your edge. So I think that's why personally I really would like for them to consider this as an option, because it'll kind of give Dark Knight that opportunity to be very hybrid and very powerful. So I don't know, that's where my mindset's at. Because what I was looking, so like down here I was kind of counting like how the like, you know, the 120 skills that each tank has. So like Guardian gives Great Nebula gives Gunbreaker a thrill, and then they have the what is it? Oh no, I was combining 120 and short. Apologies. So right now, Great Nebula gives you Thrill of Battle and then the 40%, and then Corundum gives you the XCOG. Dark Knight has the massive XCOG with Shadowed Vigil, and then you got TBN, right? And then Paladin has Guardian, which gives you the really big shield, and then also has a regen effect with Holy Shatran. And then War has a regen, and then you have shield with the Blood Wedding. So these are the numbers that I kind of thought about. So that's why I thought about having Dark Arts Blood Price give you Thrill, because there's only one ability out of all these that give you Thrill. Now I know Warrior has Thrill of Battle, but I'm not including like, because you know, like there's no, I didn't include like Bulwark or Thrill of Battle or Camouflage. I was specifically thinking about the short and the long cooldowns that the tanks have, and so this is what this kind of applies to. So like I just wanted to really figure out, like, you know, with those 2 buttons in combination, how would that work? Because I do like that you know, Warrior has Thrill specifically, and like Camouflage is specific for Gunbreaker, and then Bulwark for Paladin, you know. So I think with Dark Knight this would be really cool, because like the main thing for each tank is kind of existent, right? You have like there's XCOG for Gunbreaker for the most part. Dark Knight has big shield, Paladin has regen, and then Warrior has technically HP hit recovery, but it's also like technically shield and like, but like whatever. So now to kind of combine it with his thoughts, what I like his idea about the power slash thing. I was thinking though that it might be similar to how Warrior functions with the Storm's Eye and Path. I do miss power slash though. I do like the idea that he had that it would just buff Soul Eater. I do like that a lot, actually. I think it could fit with like the guaranteed crit HP recovery thing that you can do with like Blood Spiller, and you can kind of like apply that with Power Slash, basically. Like I think that's really cool. And this is like a little me personal thing. I would like for a delirium combo. The combo is not loud. Like the sound of the moves sound really cool. So I kind of want to see that. I want to hear that move better. Like right now, I'm playing warrior in the raids here, and I'm in love. I'm in love with Inner Chaos. That new button animation is like literally one of the best buttons they ever designed. I like it more than Falcleave. I'm not gonna lie. That might be like a hot take, but I love Inner Chaos new animation so much, and I also love Primal Ruination. The sound and the animation for that is so beautifully insane that it's like it's so cool. You know what I mean? So like with Dark Knight, I like using the Delirium like Scarlet come up in Centaur and just Steam, but like I just don't hear those buttons. So that's my only little like small little like boop. So there's that. There's me with that at least. So to kind of compare our notes, mine is solely just about like reorganizing how all of the mitigation is. His is more so kind of having it exist as it is now, but also cleaning it up in certain fields and areas too, which I totally agree with as well. Like I do think that the running animation is kind of like, it's like there. I don't mind it. Now that the engine is upgraded though, um, they should just allow flexibility and add new animations. They kind of started doing that like slowly with like idle poses. Like there's new sit animations, for example, and that sort of thing. I would like for them to start working on that with job animations. So hopefully they kind of figure that out. TBN, I don't want it to be 25 seconds. I actually, because like I feel like if you make TBN 25 seconds and have an XCOG to it, it's just Heart of Corundum basically. So I don't like that too much, but I do like I like my idea a little bit more where you just kind of remove, because like Ablation and Darkmine is really cool. I think people have also agreed that like buttons like TBN and Darkmine should have been combined and then they weren't. So I don't want there to be a lot of buttons suppressed, but I still want Dark Knight to have a button you can like give to a teammate like every other tank does. But I would like TBN to be stronger. It's already like a pretty strong button to press already, but it is a little outdated compared to like everything else. So there's that. Living Dead, I'm not gonna lie, that's the only thing I'm kind of like no, like a hard no on. I actually because Living Dead is just gonna be home gang if you get rid of the dying part, I feel like, and the timing for that is longer. But the thing is that like Dark Knight's uh current version of Living Dead is really, really good because literally it actually has the capability to last longer timer wise than every other invuln. So for it to be like above home gang but lower than Gunbreaker and Paladin, I like a lot. And because if you kind of like technically kind of figure it out, it does last longer than 10 seconds. And no other invuln does that. So I would just like, no offense, Xenos is the homie, but I would just not touch Living Dead. Dark Mind we kind of covered, right? It just kind of gets combined with TBN to make Ablation Black. Blood Price is like the new Ablation that we talked about too, so there's that. I do like the idea of the Power Slash. I think that's really cool. Man, I really thought with the Abyssal Drain, he was thinking like a Viper thing. I don't know if he like. I think he played Viper during the what was it, the media tour? But I don't know if he has played Viper during the current version of dawntrail, like since release date. I don't know though. Like but I was hoping that he was going to compare Abyssal Drain to like what is currently Death Rattle for Viper. But if it is like a Holy Spirit, I wouldn't be, because my idea about that is just like I would like for the tanks to be separated in terms of their like rotation and functionality. Because right now people are heavily comparing like Gunbreaker to Paladin and Dark Knight to Warrior. So if you can just try to find a way to like spread that out like a little bit further, that'd be really cool. And then Salt to Earth region in the puddle thing, like sure, I didn't think about that, but I mean, I'm not opposed to that. It'll be really good to use that in like raids and not so much in like, I feel like in ultimates it might be a little bit like less effective, and in dungeons it'd be pretty cool. So I like that. I like the biggest W agreed, like no questions asked, is to make Dark Missionary a level 70 ability. 100% agree. I understand that Dark Knight right now in like old ultimates is horrendous, and just because it's missing that one button that Gunbreaker does have, I would like for them to bring that back. Dark Side being a trait, it's like a him thing. I feel like that wouldn't fit at all in the kit that I've designed conceptually, but I mean, whatever. And then I guess mana for balancing, edging a little bit more outside of burst. I don't. I mean, you can do that if you have this version of the kit, right? Or maybe not. Actually, no. I mean, I think so. I think you can kind of add a way to do that. Like I would say like if you can edge more outside of burst, then I would probably like just decrease the potencies of buttons just like a smidge so that it doesn't kind of like get out of like kind of chaotic. Um and then enshrouding thing with the what he said he like kind of like LB3s, but like it turns into whatever. I don't necessarily want that. Because I don't want jobs to activate like a burst mode thing. Because every job to some degree kind of has something like kind of like that right now. However, I think you can take that enshroud idea and apply it with like a hopefully like a new tank. If we get like a fifth tank, I kind of want like a like random side note. I would like a spear tank. You know, like we've gotten Dragoon and Reaper, and like right now we got what like 3 swords and an axe. I kind of want like a if we don't get like a hammer. I know the P4S hammer weapon for warrior, but like if we don't get like a hammer weapon, then getting like a spear class I think would be kind of cool. I don't know how it would work though, like lore wise, but like I mean that's just me. I love Dragoon, like you know favorite job outside of tanks, but that's just me. Like I want to kind of like have them combine both. I want like a Dragoon tank. I don't know if like you gotta jump, but I just want like a Dragoon tank. So, anyways, hey, W to Xenos for his ideas, and he inspired me to come up with my own ideas for this. So I hope you guys enjoy, and also go check him out. He's the homie, bro. We love Xenos. Thank you, Xenos. Appreciate you, homie. Take care, friends. Baby technicalities, but